Good morning, afternoon or evening. At some point, either yesterday, today or tomorrow, frustrated parents are walking through shopping centres. Kids are screaming or upset or just plain bored. Maybe it looks just like this.
This way. Blake, seriously, okay? Blake, come here. Do not run. Do not run. There he goes.
Right.
It is coming to that time of year again when many parents start to stress about when they are going to get Christmas shopping done. No matter what time of year it is, the idea of shopping with kids can be a stressful situation. But what if there was a way of relieving that stress? Today, Emma, Alex, Torryn and myself will be introducing a new concept for Westfield to make the shopping experience a breeze. Introducing Westfield's childminding service, Playhouse. Our plan is to introduce a free childminding service within the centre where parents can drop their children off for a limited time in order to get all those pesky tasks done. This service will not only create a more relaxed and stress-free environment for parents, but also children as well. With this additional service, there is a possibility for an increase in customers in the centre due to the beneficial service. The flagship centre will be at the Chermside location and will open from 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. on Mondays through to Wednesday and Fridays, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. on Thursdays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturdays, and 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Sundays. Parents will be able to drop their children off who are aged between 3 and 9 at the Playhouse for 2 hours and then $10 for every hour after to do the shopping relaxed. The age limit is set to ensure the safety of younger kids. During this time, kids will have access to toys, movies, games, indoor playground equipment and bathroom facilities. Once the designated number of hours have finished or there is an emergency, parents can either opt for a pager or use a function within the app to be notified that they are needed back at the facility. The centre will be able to take 6 children per staff member on at one time. This ratio is lower than average standards throughout Australia for children older than 3, but as a start-up opportunity, this is the best option for the company to ensure children are looked after properly. To streamline the booking process for the childminding service, an app has been developed so parents can book their children in before they arrive to ensure a spot. We have created a prototype app which contains important information. The app has a few different functions, starting with the sign-in form, which can be downloaded to be able to fill out before arriving to save time. The next section is the online booking. This function allows the user to enter their details and book their child or children into a specific time. The next section of the app is an About Us section. Within this section is the opening hours and a small description about the centre. The last section is a Contact Us. Within this section, you can ring or email the centre to inquire about more information. Based on the research undertaken of the costs of setting up a normal childcare facility, the Playhouse should cost an initial $75,000. These costs will cover equipment, indoor furniture, supplies, renovation costs, building approvals, app development, licensing all fees, and insurance. As the Playhouse is considered a short-term care or kids club, no government approvals are needed to operate within store. However, due to the safety and trust, all processes and procedures are created to follow the procedures of a normal run childcare facility. All staff hired for the positions must hold all relevant qualifications and undertake a Working with Children check. These include either a Cert 3 or diploma, first aid, emergency asthma, and anaphylaxis qualifications. These qualifications will ensure the safety of children and the sound of mind of parents knowing that the staff are fully qualified.
Nice. We've been doing a lot of me taking 2 of the kids or 3 of the kids one place and then Jessica going and getting things and hiding them in the basket, or the opposite where I'll get stuff and hide it in the basket.
Really cool. That looks like Auntie Panty's.
It's been kind of madness. So when you're shopping for your kids and your kids are there, you gotta be sneaky. One move is the behind the cup move.
I would name it Diamond. See, it's got diamonds on it. I want to get this. Can we get this?
Oh, that's cool.
Billy will love this. Billy will love this. You can build it. You can build that.
Whoa, Parker!
Can we get it?
Put it on your Christmas
It's
list.
got a turtle. I'll get this. Now, I haven't wanted to anything. I'll get this.
The business environment of today requires change to occur frequently. It has been mentioned that nearly 70% of plans to implement change have failed. This is why it is imperative that the following suggested change is carefully thought out, with all possible risks outlined as well as goals at the beginning stages to reduce the risk of failure. Our pre-existing business will be undertaking a new project within the next 12 months. The new project involves creating a change in the business. This includes developing the option of childcare in the shopping centre for struggling parents at Christmas time. This idea will be trialled in one of the Westfield stores to begin with. If proved to be successful, the project will be expanded to other Westfield stores. The project will be extremely beneficial for consumers. This additional activity will also help consumers to make the decision to shop at Westfield over other shopping centres. The project will involve a slow developing plan change. This is due to the reasons that the team developing this idea have sufficient time to ensure every aspect of the project will be successful. It has been highlighted the significance of considering the length of time a project will need in an organisation. When a project is slowly developed, more time is allowed to allocate the level of importance of each step of the project. Therefore, there will be more opportunity to identify potential risks and setbacks. The temporal zone also needs to be considered. In this project, the company will need to be looking at future goals rather than goals that have been met in the past, in order to understand what is needed to be completed to allow the project to be successful with future customers. It has also been mentioned that in some cases, it is optional to choose actions for either short-term or long-term goals. The short-term actions will begin taking action immediately, whereas long-term actions will spend more time analysing future possibilities and outcomes that will last. It is the best option for Westfield to be focusing on long-term actions more than short-term actions due to the fact that the project will be developing over 12 months. The planning stages will be time-consuming as there is a lot to consider before this project is properly implemented. An example of a company doing similar to the project suggested is IKEA. Small Land is the name of the supervised play area that IKEA provides for its customers. It consists of a play area which, according to Higgins, held up to around 60 children at the time. It was also estimated that the attendance of Small Land quickly increased by 20% not long after its opening, and has proved to be popular with parents as stated in the article provided. Due to the success of IKEA's Small Land and the popularity of the idea, it is evident that this change will be beneficial for Westfield. The pre-existing Human Resource Management team will experience a change in duties as they will be responsible for driving the new project. All other employees of Westfield will not be impacted in any way by this change, as it will be a completely new area in the shopping centre. The change in duties for the human resource managers will involve the planning and implementing of the project, such as outlining short-term and long-term goals that will need to be achieved in order for this project to be effective. This also includes deciding where the area will be placed in the shopping centre, the cost and the hours it will be available for parents. The Human Resource Management team will also need to go through the process of hiring and training qualified staff that are more than capable of handling a stressful environment.
Corporate social responsibility is at the forefront of most, if not every, successful business that satisfies all parties affected by new or existing business ventures. CSR involves the initiative of a particular party that assesses and takes responsibility for their company's effects on environmental and social well-being. One very relevant part of CSR that directly correlates with this business venture is that it can sometimes be described as corporate citizenship. This is referring to the fact that sometimes companies will heavily invest in ventures that may involve short-term costs and may not provide immediate financial benefit, but instead will provide a positive social and environmental change. with a view for financial benefits in the later. This is exactly what the Playhouse will do. With an initial estimated cost of $75,000, as mentioned earlier by Rebecca, it will provide an array of benefits for Westfield's valued customers.
According to Carroll's CSR pyramid, the 4 responsibilities of corporate social responsibility are economic, legal, ethical, and philanthropic. We believe our idea fulfills all aspects of this model. Economic, because it has views for an increase in customers, which results in sales and economic benefit for Westfield. Legal, because our idea follows regulations set out by the government. As mentioned earlier, we do not require a license because it is a seasonal business venture, initially, and not a permanent business structure. Though, if there is exponential success and a need for expansion, then the right precautions will be taken to ensure legal requirements are fully covered. Ethical, in our case, also intercorrelates with legal responsibilities. We believe by creating a filtered employment procedure that requires the employees to hold either a Cert 3 or diploma, first aid, emergency asthma, and anaphylaxis qualifications, it upholds the ethical responsibilities of the business. Finally, philanthropic responsibility is the entire basis of what our proposed business is trying to achieve. Our vision is to provide a safe place for parents or relatives to leave the children for a respective period of time that would allow them to enjoy a less stressful time doing shopping, especially in the Christmas rush period. We believe this holds great value for customers, successfully provides a free service as a way to give back, and greatly fulfills any philanthropic expectations that customers, stakeholders, and shareholders would expect from such a venture. The CSR pyramid is not the only framework in which we believe our proposed business covers. CSV, short for Creating Shared Value, is a strategy focused on companies creating measurable economic benefit by identifying and addressing social problems that intersect their business. We believe that Playhouse by Westfield has the opportunity to create shared value between economic and social aspects of Westfield. This proposed business has the view to create economic value for the company, Westfield, in the future based on the success this venture may and most likely will create, but at the same time creates great value for the leading sector that Westfield relies on, this being their customers. Sustainability within this business venture has been considered, although we do not believe it is a defining factor that needs to be considered at this point in time because we are only looking into a seasonal venture. If the business is successful, strategies for sustainability will be at the forefront of our focus.
Now that my fellow team members have gone through the details of the change that we're planning to implement, as well as the social responsibility and shared value aspects of the idea, I would like to run through the legal and ethical implications of our free child minding service. As many parents would know, choosing a daycare service for your children is often time-consuming and very difficult. But what if we could take all this worrying and difficulties away by offering a quick, friendly and safe environment to care for your children whilst their parents take care of the shopping? Daycare and kindergarten facilities are run under strict guidelines and have strenuous checks to ensure the safety of the children who are cared for at the facilities. Our free child minding service at Westfield Shopping Centre will be no different. A large number of in-depth background checks will be carried out to ensure that any potential employee of the child minding service has the appropriate knowledge and training to care for these children in a safe manner. These tests will make certain that only the highest quality individuals are employed at the child minding service and that child safety will be the highest priority. In accordance with these strict guidelines, all staff members must have their first aid and CPR qualifications so that children can be cared for in the event of an emergency. Having these qualifications will mean that the children cared for at the child minding service will be returned healthy and safe to their parents every time. In reference to this child safety issue, strict guidelines will be in place and set plans will have to be followed when children are dropped off at and picked up from the child minding service. These guidelines ensure that every child is safe and parents will be at peace knowing that their children will be fit and healthy when they return to pick them up. When implementing a new and innovative idea, it is also important to ensure that the idea is also ethical. Making an ethical judgment involves the process of an individual determining that one course of action in a particular situation is morally right and another course of action is morally wrong. This decision is often difficult, and as such, much consideration must be made when deciding upon whether an idea is ethical and should be implemented or scrapped. We feel that our child minding service is morally and ethically correct, as the facility will have strict guidelines and regulations that must be followed to provide a safe and friendly environment. The free child minding service to be trialled at our Westfield Chermside Shopping Centre will be innovative and fundamental to increasing the number of customers who frequent the shopping centre in the future. The facility will be open during normal shopping hours 7 days a week so that every parent is able to take advantage of this great service. The short-term funds of $75,000 needed for the trial can be easily obtained by our shopping centre, and we feel that a portion of these costs will be recouped by the increasing number of customers. In the long term, should this trial be successful, the child minding service will be expanded to be fully operational at all Westfield shopping centres. Parents will be able to do their shopping stress-free while their kids are enjoying their time participating in games, activities, and watching movies.